I woke up to the sound of typing. Not from my phone, not from my laptop, from the other side of my room. I was still half asleep, my brain sluggish. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but as I blinked against the dim glow of my bedside lamp, I realized someone was sitting at my desk, typing on my computer. I jolted up so fast I nearly fell out of bed. And that's when they turned around. It was Mia, my best friend, the one who did not live with me. My stomach dropped. She smiled, eyes dark and unblinking. "Oh, you're awake." I couldn't move, couldn't think. "Mia," my voice came out hoarse. "What the hell are you doing here?" She tilted her head slightly, as if confused by the question. "You forgot to log out." My skin crawled. I glanced at my laptop screen. It was open to my emails, and in the draft section, a message addressed to my boss. I quit. My breath hitched. What is this?" I stammered. Mia's fingers hovered over the keyboard. "You hate your job." I felt sick. "That doesn't mean you can just break into my apartment and—" She sighed dramatically. "You always overthink everything." My hands clenched into fists. "Get out." She didn't move. Instead, she turned back to the screen and calmly clicked send. The email was gone. I snapped. I lunged toward her, reaching for the laptop, but she grabbed my wrist. Her nails dug into my skin. "You don't need them," she whispered. "You only need me." I ripped my arm away and bolted. Out of my own room. Through the hallway. Straight for the front door. But when I grabbed the doorknob, it wouldn't turn. Locked. From the inside. A slow chill spread through my body. I turned. Mia was standing at the end of the hallway. She lifted her hand. Dangling from her fingers were my keys. She had locked me inside. My heart slammed against my ribs. She took a slow step forward. "I don't like when you try to leave." I forced myself to stay calm. "Mia, give me my keys." She smiled wider. Then, without breaking eye contact, she dropped them down her shirt. I went cold. She wanted me to go after them. She wanted me to touch her. This wasn't about the job. This wasn't about my laptop. This was something much worse. I took a slow, deliberate step backward. "You're scaring me," I said. Mia's breathing hitched, and then she started crying. Loud, gasping sobs. She collapsed to her knees, wailing, clutching her face like she was in pain. But I didn't move. I didn't comfort her. I knew better. Then, mid-sob, she peeked through her fingers. And she was grinning. This was a game to her. I ran. Straight to the kitchen, yanked open a drawer, and grabbed the biggest knife I could find. When I turned back around, Mia was gone. The hallway was empty. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even blink. By morning, she had slipped the keys under the front door. I blocked her number, changed my locks. But when I checked my laptop, there was a new email in my drafts. "You can't block me forever." Story 2. I woke up to my own voice talking. At first, I thought I was dreaming. My room was dark, the glow of my phone screen barely illuminating the nightstand. But as I blinked, disoriented, I realized it wasn't me talking. It was a recording of me, playing from my phone. I grabbed it, my pulse hammering, and stared at the screen. An audio file was playing, labeled with today's date. The timestamp? 3:14 a.m. I hadn't recorded anything. My fingers shook as I hit pause. The room fell into silence. Then, a quiet giggle from the corner of my room. I whipped my head around. And there, sitting on the floor, half hidden in the shadows, was Rachel, my best friend, the one who did not live here. My blood ran cold. "Rachel?" My voice came out shaky. She tilted her head, smiling. "You talk in your sleep," she whispered. A sick feeling twisted in my gut. How did you get in here?" She held up something small and silver. My spare key. The one I kept in my sock drawer. The one she shouldn't have. My throat tightened. "You stole my key?" She just giggled again. "It's not stealing if we share everything." I felt sick. I sat up, gripping my blankets like they could protect me. "What were you doing?" She sighed dramatically. "You've been ignoring me," she said, pouting. I hadn't been. Not really. I had just been busy. Work. Family. A new boyfriend. But now, looking at her sitting there, I realized Rachel had noticed. And she didn't like it. "So you broke in?" My voice shook. She shrugged. "You wouldn't answer my calls," she whispered. "So I had to come listen to you myself." My stomach dropped. I threw off the blankets and bolted for the door. Rachel lunged. She grabbed my wrist, her nails digging in painfully. "I don't like when you run," she said. I ripped my arm free and ran. Straight out of my own apartment. I didn't stop running until I was outside, standing in the freezing night air, barefoot and shaking. I called the cops. By the time they arrived, Rachel was gone. But when I checked my phone later, I found something even worse. In my voice memos, there were dozens of audio files, all recorded while I was sleeping. Some from weeks ago, some from last night, and at the end of the last recording, just before it cut off, I heard Rachel's voice, whispering, "I could listen to you forever." Story 3. I woke up to the feeling of someone brushing my hair. At first, I thought I was dreaming. My room was dark, the only light coming from my bedside clock, 2:58 a.m. I felt it again, soft, deliberate strokes running through my hair. My breath caught. I lived alone. I flipped over, heart hammering. And there, sitting on the edge of my bed, was Lily, my best friend, the one who did not live here. I scrambled backward, pressing myself against the headboard. "What the hell are you doing?" She didn't answer right away. She just sat there, calm, smiling, twirling a strand of my hair between her fingers. "You always sleep so soundly," she whispered. My stomach dropped. I glanced at my bedroom door, still locked. The windows? Shut. "Lily," I forced out. "How did you get in here?" She just tilted her head. "You forgot about me," she murmured. "I had to remind you." My pulse pounded. "Remind me of what?" Her fingers tightened around my hair. "That I love you more than anyone else ever will." I shoved her hard. She fell backward off the bed, but didn't scream, didn't even react. I bolted, yanking at my bedroom door, desperate to get out. It wouldn't open. Locked. From the outside. A slow chill spread through my body. "Lily," I gasped. "Did you lock me in?" Behind me, I heard her stand up. "You keep getting distracted," she whispered. I turned. She was holding a pair of scissors. My scissors. The ones from my desk. "I was just going to trim your hair," she said softly. "Make sure you're always perfect." I lunged for my phone, but it wasn't on my nightstand. I looked up. Lily was holding it. She smiled wider. "You don't need this anymore." I lost it. I threw myself at her, grabbed my phone, and screamed for help. The second my hand hit the dial pad, she bolted. Straight to my closet. She slipped inside and shut the door. I heard clicking. She locked herself in. The cops arrived 15 minutes later. They searched the closet, the apartment, everything. Lily was gone. No sign of her. No forced entry. But the next morning, I found something under my pillow. A lock of my own hair, tied with a red ribbon, and a note in Lily's handwriting. "You'll always be mine." Story 4. I woke up to the feeling of someone breathing against my neck. Not the soft hum of air from my fan. Not my imagination. Real. Warm. Close. My entire body froze. For a second, I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Then slowly, I turned my head and saw Sophia lying beside me, smiling. I screamed. Fell out of my own bed. She didn't move. Didn't react. Just lay there, head propped on her hand, watching me like this was normal. My hand shook violently. "Sophia? What the hell are you doing in my bed?" She stretched, sighing like she had just woken up from a peaceful nap. "You looked cold," she murmured. "I didn't want you to sleep alone." My blood ran cold. I grabbed my phone, frantic. But when I checked the time, my stomach dropped. The screen was frozen. And my passcode? Changed. I snapped my head back to Sophia, my breath shallow. "Did you touch my phone?" She just giggled. "You shouldn't have a lock on it," she whispered. "Best friends shouldn't have secrets." I lunged for my nightstand, grabbing the lamp. "Get out, Sophia." She finally sat up. "You always overreact." Her tone was light. Too light. Then, she reached under my pillow. My heart stopped. She pulled out a USB drive and held it between her fingers. "I made you something," she said, tilting her head. "Want to see?" I felt sick. I snatched it from her hands, shaking, and shoved it into my laptop. A folder popped up, titled, "You Sleep So Pretty." I didn't want to open it, but I had to. Inside, hundreds of videos, all taken from inside my room. My hand shook violently as I clicked the most recent one. It was from tonight. The screen flickered, then showed me, sound asleep in bed. Sophia's hand entered the frame. She reached out and slowly brushed the hair from my face. She leaned in close and whispered something. The audio was muffled. I turned up the volume. Sophia's voice, breathy, soft. I could stay here forever. I slammed the laptop shut. Tears burned my eyes. I turned back to Sophia, but she was already gone. No sound, no footsteps, just Gone. I changed my locks, blocked her number. But sometimes, at night, my phone screen flickers, and a new folder appears, titled, You Forgot About Me. Story 5. I was brushing my teeth when my phone buzzed. A text from Camille, my best friend. Camille, nice shirt. Red looks good on you. I frowned. My reflection in the mirror confirmed what I already knew. I was wearing a red shirt. But Camille wasn't here. She hadn't seen me today. A slow, uneasy feeling crept up my spine. I texted back. Me, how do you know what I'm wearing? 3 dots appeared. Then, Camille, I can see you. I froze. My stomach twisted violently. I glanced around the bathroom, my heart hammering. The door was shut. The window locked. My hands shook as I typed. Me, where are you? Camille, I'm inside. A cold chill spread through my chest. I bolted out of the bathroom, my bare feet silent against the floor. Every room was empty, or so I thought. Then, from my bedroom, a whisper. You always brush your teeth for exactly 2 minutes. I spun around, and there, sitting on my bed, was Camille. My blood ran cold. She was wearing my hoodie, one I had left folded in my closet, and in her hands, she was holding my journal, the one I kept hidden in my nightstand, the one with my deepest secrets. Camille, my voice shook. How the hell did you get in here? She tilted her head, smiling. You always forget to lock the back door, she whispered. My pulse spiked. I locked my back door every night. I took a slow step back. Put that down. She ignored me, flipping to a page, reading aloud. Sometimes I feel like Camille is too much. She lifted her head. Her smile disappeared. You think I'm too much? I swallowed hard. I didn't mean. You're all I have, she whispered. She stood up, took a slow step toward me. You wouldn't leave me, right? I ran, straight for the door. Camille lunged. Her fingers grazed my wrist, but I was faster. I slammed the door shut behind me. I grabbed my phone, my hand shaking, and called the cops. By the time they arrived, she was gone, but she left something behind. My journal, open to the last page, and scrawled in my own handwriting. I'm never leaving Camille, except I never wrote that.